Hey guys, Colorado Dave here. Just putting a video out with a new knife that I just got that I wanted to share with you guys right away. I'm stoked about it, super excited. It's something I've really looked forward to getting, and I'm glad to have it in hand. And that is the Bugout from Benchmade, and it's the 535BK-4 version. And the -4, I guess, is for the aluminum handles that you're looking at there. And the other thing that makes this knife unique is it has M390 on it as far as the blade steel. So those are both awesome, attributes for me. And then they also customized it by putting a bunch of red in it for the thumb studs and then for the back spacers, which is also just a nice touch. It's not too much, but it's not, it's not like it's not enough either. It's plenty. It's all it needs for this knife. This knife is very tastefully done. The design is it's gorgeous. You look at this starburst pattern that's on the handle, and it's just beautiful, guys. I don't know what else to say. It's a beautiful pattern, and it's a knife that I'm really happy with. I don't know, you can probably see that pattern a little better if I bring it up closer, but I think most of you guys have seen it, and you can see it when I have the knife lower as well, but I just want to make sure. Here's what it looks like on the reverse side. It's a Cerakote that they have as far as on the blade, as far as the black. It is not DLC, but it's a good Cerakote from what I understand. I've heard nothing but good things about it. If it's the same stuff that they're putting on the Super Freak, which I have as well, I would say that it's nothing to be concerned about because I really like the coating that's on the Super Freak. So I'm assuming it's the same coating, but I'm not positive. But in that breath, I have no concerns. I have no concerns about the coating on the blade. I think it's a beautiful one. The black is a great accent to the aluminum. And the aluminum has this kind of deep gray, kind of stone kind of look to it almost. And the feel in hand is awesome. It's just so sturdy in hand. It feels nothing like the other Bugouts I've had. Let's talk about the Bugouts here real quick. Let's get rid of this box. I think the box here, just so you know what's inside of here, so I can show you real quick. That's what the box is going to be labeled like. It's going to be a blue class knife, which is probably one of their most common, is blue class. It comes with this nice microfiber pouch, which you can put your knife in, carry in your car, or put it in your backpack, or whatever you're going to do. I do use these. I like them. I think they're nice to have. So if you're carrying a couple knives, you can throw one, in a back pocket. You can throw in whatever, but the cloth kind of protects it a little bit, which is nice. But anyway, getting back to the knife here. So let's talk about the handle first. I told you about the starburst. We started to talk about that here a little bit. The pattern, the starburst pattern is just gorgeous. It really is beautiful. It's on both sides, and it comes out from the pivot, and it just comes out throughout the whole knife, which is just beautiful. It's aluminum, and it's they say aircraft grade aluminum, I think is what they call it. But anyway, it's high quality aluminum, I guess, from what I understand. It's very strong in hand. I'm not worried about it going anywhere or breaking down on me or anything like that. I mean, this knife's going to be plenty durable for what it's going to be used for, which is more slicey, dicey type of things. This is not a knife that I'm going to be, necessarily taking camping with me. I could, but I don't plan on really using it for that. That's not really what the purpose of this knife is for me. This is more of an EDC, everyday carry that you could carry with jeans. You could carry it in a suit pocket. So you really have a lot of options. Or you could put it in a pair of shorts because it's so light. This thing only weighs like 2.5 ounces, so it's extremely light as well. It's not as light as a regular Bugout. I think the regular Bugouts are around 1.85 or something like that. But so this is a little bit heavier than that. But to me, it doesn't feel heavier. It just feels more strong. It just feels more durable. Feels more tough, And so for me, that's a good thing, because that's always been my weakness with the Bugout, is it's come off as a little bit weak because of the plastic handles and whatnot. Because I'm not into any kind of plastic handle, so that's a big turnoff for me. But this is very different. So the handle, I love it. It's gorgeous. It does have some jimping back here a little bit. It has the lanyard hole. If you can see, the lanyard hole is built right into it, which is nice. It's subdued enough that it doesn't, it definitely goes with the pattern and with the rest of the knife, so it fits in really nicely. I'm not a lanyard guy, so I prefer not to have one at all, but if you're going to have one, I don't think that looks bad. I think it's fine. What else can I tell you? As far as the handle, the only other thing I want to talk about here is the clip here real quick. If there's anything negative I'm going to say about the knife, it's going to be about the pocket clip. And that's just because I'm not a huge fan of these short, deep carry pocket clips. I would have rather just had a full-length pocket clip versus the short one. And that's just me. Maybe I'm old school. I don't know. But for me, I feel more comfortable with it. I feel like this is going to fall out of my pocket. I don't feel like it's going to be in there quite as tight. Although I will tell you that the tension on it is very tight. And so far, it has worked just fine. There's been no issues with it by any means. I just, like I said, personally prefer a full clip. So again, that's a little bit of a negative. The other thing is, if you look at this real closely, if you see the side of the clip, like right along here and right along here, you can see the actual parts of where they punched it out of like a sheet metal sheet or something. But the spots where they were kind of connected, I don't like that. That looks cheap to me. I don't like that at all, which is another reason I want to get rid of the clip, because it has these little marks on it, and it's basically just a production type of mark that shouldn't be there. It's something that should have been cleaned up back at the factory. So to me, that's just a little bit disappointing. I don't know if you can see that or not, but hopefully you can see that. But anyway, so that would be the only negative I'm going to tell you about this knife, because this knife is fantastic. We'll get into the blade steel here a little bit, and then we'll talk about the action. But the blade steel, let's get into the blade steel. The blade steel you're looking at here is going to be M390, which is, they say a premium super steel, and it's higher in stainless steel traits, so it will give you more corrosion resistance, but it's going to have some issues as far as, not issues, but it's not going to be quite as tough because of that, from what I understand. I think I'm saying that right. But it's a great all-around steel, and my experience with it through one other knife that I owned, but I no longer have, so this will be my only one with M390, is that I really like the steel, that it sharpens up very nice. And so I'm looking forward to putting my first edge on this. It came with a pretty decent edge. It's a little bit grippy as far as the way they did their edge on it, but that's typical to a Benchmade, I think. My 940 was the same way. It kind of had a little bit of a grippier edge. I like more of a mirrored edge, so I look forward again to putting my edge on there where I can mirror it out, and I'll probably do it at about 17%, something like that. That's kind of where my thoughts are with the edge, but I do want to put an edge on probably sooner than later, just because. I have stropped this once already because it really wasn't cutting paper that great or anything, so it wasn't like it was super sharp. Like it had a sharpness to it, but it had like a toothiness to it too, so it was kind of catching on stuff. I don't know how to explain it, if I'm explaining that well or not, but I think most of you probably know what I'm talking about. You've probably had knives that have done the same thing. And it's okay, it's fine. I mean, I know once I sharpen it and get into it that it's gonna put a hell of a blade on there, or a hell of an edge on there. I'm not concerned about it. So I have a KME system, and I have 100% confidence in what I do on my KME to put a really blasting edge on it. And crazy slicey is what I want to make this thing, and that's what I'm going to end up doing. I may even take it down to like 16 or 15.5%, because I really want this a really sharp edge is what I'm looking for. But again, this is the M3, I think they call it Bowler M390, and I think it's out of Austria, I believe is where the steel was originated from, and it's a steel out of Austria, and it was a molding steel from what I understand. They used to use it for molding, and so they'd use it for, they would last so long with so many injections, mold injections, that the steel would last so long that they ended up deciding they were going to try to use it for some other things. And one of the first things that came up to them was to use it for pocket knives. And so that's my understanding of that steel. Hopefully I didn't bastardize that story too bad, but that's my understanding of Bowler M390, is that it's out of Austria, and that it was a injection mold type of steel that was used for the actual molds themselves. So I thought that was kind of interesting. But anyway, let's get to the action now. Let's talk about the action on this thing. The action is fantastic. It is better than any 940 I've ever touched. It's better than any Bugout I've ever touched. It's smoother. I don't know what it is, but it's just so much more graceful and smooth and glassy. It really is. There's just like no friction. There's no resistance whatsoever. I mean, if you look at this, look, it just falls. I mean, it's awesome. So, action, second to none. Very, very, very happy with the action. Better than I expected. Better than I expected for sure. So I'm very, very satisfied with the action. I love all the blacked out components as far as the screws and as far as even the liners and everything, how they blacked everything out so it all matches up with the blade. Love it. Just love it. It's a beautiful knife, guys, in person. I can't tell you enough how pretty of a knife this is. Like I said, this is just an unboxing. It's a first impressions. I wanted to show it to you guys right away. I haven't had a new knife in a long time, so I'm super excited. I got a birthday next week, and so I kind of treated myself to a knife, and this is what I ended up getting. And I just wanted to share it with you guys. I just think it's something really special because I'll be honest with you, I've had 2 Bugouts. They were both CF Elites, and they were the blacked out versions. And I had the Omega Spring on both of them break within a matter of 2 weeks. And so I have not had good luck with Bugouts. Yet I've had 940 that I love, and I've had no issues whatsoever. So I just, for whatever reason, did not have good luck with Bugouts. So I was like anti-Bugout for a long time. And then when this came out, I just thought it was such a cool looking knife. I love the handle, and I thought, you know, from what I saw online, it looked really, really cool. And so that's why I decided to take a chance and try it, because I'm like, yeah, the Bugout, I like the size, I like the sliciness of it. But, you know, I just didn't like the plasticky handles. So, you know, maybe this is the one for me. You know, maybe let me try it, you know. So I did go ahead and pull the trigger, and I got it. And, man, I have no regrets. I really, really am happy with the knife. So far, you know, I haven't spent that much time with it, but I have no reason to believe this knife is not going to be a user. And one that is just special. It's going to be a special knife. It just has a really, really nice feel to it. And I'm really excited to share more with you guys as I get a chance to use it and give you more of a full-blown review on it, which I will do down the road. Let's do some comparisons since I do have it out, though. And I just happen to have this right next to me, which is my 940, which I love. This is another great one. I love this knife. Really, really love it. Since I got this knife, it's been my #1 carry. And that's the reason I went in and got another Bugout, or got another Benchmade, excuse me, is because of the fact that I had such a good experience with this knife. And I love it, and I use it a lot. And why do I use it? Because it's light. It's a nice big blade, but it's light, and it's easy to fidget with. It's fun to fidget with. I don't know. But that's a good matchup up against that. You can see that the 940 is a little bit bigger. But the Bugout, you know, holds its own size-wise. You know, it really does. I consider myself to have large hands, and I can get my whole hand around this thing. You know, I'm right there on the edge of it, but you know what? It works. It does work. No doubt about it. It does work. So, that's that. Let's put, what else do we want to put up against there? Let's try the Spyderco Para 3. This is a better comparison size-wise. If you look at these, they match up almost exactly as far as their total all length. I think you get more blade cutting edge out of the Bugout. I think you get a little bit less because of the finger choil on the Spyderco. But very comparable knives, same category for sure. This is the Maximate version of the Spyderco, which I like a lot as well. But right now, I'm really, really excited on this one. I'm really stoked to have this one. So that's where my head's at right now. I got one more sitting here in front of me. We'll go ahead and pull it out, which is my Spidey Chef. So let's see how that looks up against this. Let's see. Let's try that one like this. You can see that the Spider Chef's a little bit bigger. It's got a little bit more handle to it, not a lot, just a little bit, and just a little bit more blade to it. So it's definitely a touch bigger. Obviously, it's wider. It's got that nice big belly on it. This is a special custom one that I had done at Knives Plus, which I just think and love. And I think it's really cool. But that's my Spidey Chef. Anyway, let's get back to this one. So this is the Bugout 535BK-4. Sorry, guys, I'm trying to get that down still. And this is just the first impressions, and so I'm going to cut the video off at this point because I think I said more than enough. I will get back to you guys, though, in a month or two after I get a chance to carry it and really carry it, you know, and spend some time with it and let you know my thoughts on it. But so far, phenomenal phenomenal. If you guys if you're on the fence, you're thinking about getting it, or you're worried about if it's going to be, higher quality than the other plastic bug outs, it is. 100% it is. It's definitely better quality. It feels like a totally different knife. Highly recommend it. That's all I got. Colorado Dave. This is Knives in Our Lives signing off. We'll talk to you guys.